At roughly 1 a.m. UK time, Dana White blessed us with an Instagram live in which he gave us 3 new fight announcements that I'm going to be breaking down in this video. I'm going to be breaking down how I think the fight's going to go, who I think is going to win, and just overall my opinion on the matchmaking itself. If you do go on to enjoy this video, leave a like and do hit that subscribe button. And just let me know what you think of these fights and my breakdowns in the comments below. Starting off with the first fight that was announced, Ian Machado, Garry, and will be fighting Carlos Prates. This is a replacement of the Khalil Roundtree versus Jamal Hill fight because Jamal Hill got injured. It will be taking place at Kansas City on April 26th. Now, in terms of who I think is going to win for this fight and how I think the fight's going to play out, Carlos Prates is good. Ian Garry is very good. And it's a close one. This is a 50-50 fight. I feel like the odds for this fight are going to also be razor close. I'm thinking pick and fight. You know what I mean? It is a 5-round fight, which would probably in this state benefit Ian Garry because Carlos Prates, he's never been in a 5-round fight. No, he has. He's been scheduled for one 5-round fight. He knocked out Magny in the first round, so didn't it? It went half a round. You know what I mean? Ian Garry, he's gone 5 rounds with Shavkat Rakhmonov. It was a close fight. He almost had Shavkat Rakhmonov out in that round, out in the last round. And in terms of how the fight would go, if Carlos Prates is going to win, it's going to be via an early knockout. I don't see him taking Garry into deep waters and taking him the 4 or 5 rounds, schooling him. If he's going to win, it's going to be by a knockout within the first or second round. Ian Garry, he's a jack of all trades, but he's a master of none. So he can strike, he can grapple, he can hold against the cage. He knows how to win fights, but he cannot, he's not an elite level. Well, he's elite level, but he's not like a master at any of those traits effectively, if you know what I'm trying to say. So he doesn't have the best striking. He doesn't have the best grappling. He can do both of them very well, but he doesn't have the best. Now, Prates is an elite striker. We haven't really seen him, or seen his grappling rather, tested in the UFC. But when we compare these guys in their come-ups, so we compare Prates and Garry, these guys were fighting similar level of opponents. Prates was making light work of these guys, and Garry was taking them to competitive decisions with some of these bums, man. Like some of these UFC bums, guys are about to get cut from the promotion. Garry was making it competitive with these guys. Now, the problem is with Prates anyway. We need to remember it's a 5-round fight. He's a heavy smoker. Heavy smoker. We can all make jokes about the Malmo cigarettes, and all that jazz. But it ain't going to be funny when he's huffing and puffing in round number 3, heading into the championship rounds, and he's sat there dying, needing a hit of his nicotine, It's not going to be funny at that point when Ian Garry sat there bouncing around in his corner with his celery sticks because he's vegan, and Prates is dying on the stool. So, with that being said, Ian Garry can well get caught. He got caught by Shavkat Rakhmonov. Granted, took it very well. Shavkat, he barely got rocked. But he's been caught before. And all I'm saying is, if Prates can catch him, Prates does have different level of power. Because, he barely hit Magny, and Magny went down like a sack of shit. So, it's a close one. It's a close one. If all I'm saying is I'm leaning Ian Garry just based on the fact that he is more well-rounded. He's more well-rounded, and the people who are more well-rounded tend to get the better of the people who are specialists in one area but shit in another. You know what I mean? I'm leaning Ian Garry, but Carlos Prates could well get this one done within the first 2 rounds via a knockout. But if it goes into round 3, round 4, I'm putting all my chips on black, all my chips on Ian Garry. Okay. Also, respect to Ian Garry for taking this fight on short notice. He took the Shavkat fight on short notice. He's taking this one on short notice. Fair enough to the brother. You know what I mean? Moving on to the second fight announced by Dana White. We all knew this was coming. I made a video on it, when Dana White pretty much confirmed it at the press conference of, I believe it was 312. Merab Darvashvili versus Sugar Sean O'Malley, the rematch, effectively. I'm not very happy with the matchmaking here. We should have seen Merab Pantoja come on. Like, that is the fight to make. There's no one for Pantoja to fight, and at the moment, there's no one for Merab to fight. It makes sense, but I mean, the UFC just aren't interested in that at all. Plus, Merab also probably asked for O'Malley, if we're being honest. He was begging for it. I think Merab gets this one done. I mean, okay, if we're thinking about the bantamweight division at the moment, there's also no one for Merab to fight. Unfortunately, this makes the most sense in the bantamweight division if you're exclusively looking at that division. Obviously, Pantoja should fight Merab. That should have happened. But if you're just looking within the confines of the bantamweight division, this is the fight to make. Okay, O'Malley. I mean, it wasn't a close fight, but it was a close fight. That makes no sense. O'Malley, it didn't look very close in certain rounds, but over the course of five round fight, it was close. O'Malley was about 2 punches or 2 significant strikes in the first round from winning the fight, which is insane to say, especially watching the fight and seeing what Merab did in round 2 and round 4. But going into a rematch, O'Malley could land something. You know what I mean? I know Merab's got the inbred chin and he's just, unstoppable at the moment. I am leaning Merab, but O'Malley could well get this one done by KO. People forget, man. O'Malley's got that different level of power. Like, O'Malley, we've seen him flatline KO people. When was the last time he actually flatline KO'd anyone? I'm actually genuinely curious. O'Malley topology. Because, I mean, we say O'Malley's got this knockout power, and he does have knockout power. When was the last time he TKOs or just knocked someone out cold? Was it? Right. So he didn't knock out Vera. He didn't. It was Aljamain Sterling, wasn't it? I'm a fool, aren't I? Yeah, that was. I now look really silly, don't I? Okay, never mind. But before that, it was. Who was it before that? It wasn't. It would have been Chris Martini. No, Chris Martini wasn't even a. Oh, you know what? Bun it. Forget about it. I'm completely wrong at that point. I'm gonna cut my losses and just forget I said anything. I think Merab wins this fight. I think Merab's going to do it in the exact same fashion he's done every single other fight, and that's just be shitter for longer than the other guy can be good. And that's the only bit of analysis I need to do for this fight. That's Merab's entire game plan, is just to run more and have better cardio than his opponent, and he can be worse for longer than O'Malley can be good. Yes. Next fight on the co-main event of UFC 316. Pena versus Harrington. How have I messed up this name? Harrington. Yo, I don't know how I'm messing up this name. Kayla Harrison. I don't know how I messed that up. My apologies, Kayla. I think Harrison's going to get this one done. She just has that man factor, you know what I mean? She's got that testosterone factor. She's got that HGH factor. She's got the steroid factor, okay? I think she gets this one done. I don't rate Pena as a fighter. I think she strikes with her eyes closed. She's got all right grapple defense, I guess. They're not really, this could be the stinker of the card. I'm not going to lie. Pena strikes with her eyes closed, for crying out loud. I mean, she has been in there with Nunes, to be fair. She has been in there with Nunes for a while. How long did you spend in there with Nunes? Was it 20? It was 25 minutes, wasn't it? I'm going to go with Harrison to get this one done. I mean, I think Harrison gets it done. Going to be by decision. It could be a submission, actually. I was going to say by decision, but I mean, could well be a submission. I can see Harrison getting the back and getting a submission here, especially with a pressure-heavy wrestle style. So I'm picking Harrison to win this fight. Yeah, I mean, it could also be a complete stinker as well. We don't know. We never really know with UFC fights, and especially WMMA fights, because sometimes they've been cooking recently as well. They've been so good recently, and then you go back another month and it's like 7 straight decisions. We haven't had a finish since January. So insane, very inconsistent. But I think Harrison's going to win this one. So let me know what you think of this type of video in the comments below. It's something new. I mean, I've done it once before, but I haven't really broken down the fights. I guess I don't really know. Anyway, let me know what you think let me know what you think of this video in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next one.